and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be resuming Junie B First Grader Cheater Pants by Barbra Parks. So let's get started. We left off on chapter 6, so I'm going to go. Tin can. The next morning I sat next to Herb on the bus. I sit next to him every single day. On account of that, what bestest friends automatically do. Herb started talking about his new dog Dilly, only I couldn't even pay attention that good, cause how can you talk about Dilly when you still got a note from your teacher in your pocket? Mother's and Daddy had signed it, that dumb thing, and now I have to take it back to Mr. Scary. I slumped way down in my seat. School was not being fun these days. I looked at Herb. I wished I could tell him about my problem. Only what if he didn't like cheaters and he found out I was one? And then he didn't like me either. I thought real hard. Then I finally took a deep breath and I decided to risk it. I leaned real close to his ear and I whispered to him very secret. Okay, here's the situation, Herb, I said. I'm a little bit in trouble at school. Only I'm really not bad, I promise. It's just that yesterday I accidentally did something wrong, but I don't actually want to tell you what it is, or else you may not like me anymore. Herb looked at me and shrugged. You copied May's homework when she went to the office, he said. Then I gasped at that word, because how did he know that private information? I scratched my head. But how did you even? Herb interrupted me. I saw you, he said. Lenny and Joe saw you too. You're a terrible sneak. You're a terrible sneak. Junie B, really terrible, I mean. I did a little frown. That was a compliment, possibly. Herb pouted me on my arm. Don't worry, we still like you, he said. Just don't copy May's homework anymore, and then you won't get in any more trouble. I nodded my head. Then I patted him back. That Herb is good for me, I think. Me and Herbette walked to room 1 together. Then he stopped right in our footsteps because wow. The whole room looked different, I tell you. Instead of being rows, all the desks were arranged in groups of circles. We looked in the back where we sit, and 5 desks were in a group. May was already in her seat. She was cleaning her desktop with a moist towel. Just then, Lenny and Joe walked in behind us. Whoa, said Lenny. What is going on here, said Joe. Mr. Scary told us to please find our desk, and we will explain it in a minute. All of us went back to our seats and sat down. Sitting in a circle feels friendly. We waved and smiled at each other. Only May, she looked smuggy at us. I already know why we are sitting like this, she said. I was the first one here this morning, and when you're the first one, you get to know stuff. Just stared at her moist towel, and he made a cuckoo sign. Just then, Mr. Scary went to the board and he wrote a weird word. Boys and girls, this morning we are going to do a poetry assignment, he said. That's why I arranged your desk like this. I wanted you to be able to talk over your thoughts and share ideas. He pointed to the weird word, and it spelled Cinquain. Does anyone want to try to pronounce this, he asked. Does anyone want to sound it out? May jumped right up. Tin can, she shouted. It's pronounced tin can. She grinned real delighted. I know it's tin can because you told me this morning. Remember? I was the first one here, and I saw you write it on the board, and you told me it was pronounced tin can. Mr. Scary looked puzzled at her. Gee, I'm sorry, May, but it's not tin can, he said. You must not have heard me correctly. This word is pronounced like the words sin and can. Sin can. May crossed her arms. No, I'm sure that's not what you told me. You said it was tin can, Mr. Scary. Mr. Scary, and you know it. Mr. Scary frowned. No, May, I didn't. He said, now please take your seat. May sat down in a hush. She pulled her head onto her desk and hid under her sweater. Mr. Scary looked back at the board. A quinquan is a poem, and that's 5 lines, he said, and each one has its own special rule. He wrote the 5 rules. First line, 1 word, title. Second line, 2 words that describe the title. Third line, 3 action words about the title. Fourth line, 4 words that express a thought or feeling about the title. Fifth line, 1 word that means the same thing as title. After that, he wrote quin as to see what the poem called pickle. Pickle, bumpy, lumpy, crunchy, munching, lunching, cucumbers making your pucker. I laughed at that crazy thing, because whoever heard of a pickle poem? Writing is a quinquan is fun. I said, this assignment will be a breeze, I think. Mr. Scary smiled. Well, sometimes poems can become very easy, Junie B, but other times they don't. But if you share words and ideas with each other, you can really help spark your imaginations, he said. He looked all around. In fact, I thought it might be fun or some of you to write your own poem as a team, he said. May quick came in under her sweater of that news. Oh, she looked at her group. Okay, fine. I'll be the team leader, she told us. After that, she made a mean face at Mr. Scary, and she took out her pencil. I know just what we are going to write about, too, she said in a kind girlie. She waved her hands at us. You 4 guys will talk about your normal stupid stuff, and I'll write the poem, she said. I'll read it to you when we get done. Lenny looked disappointed, but Mr. Scary said we should write our poem together, May. Together, May, he said. See, said Joe's. We're supposed to share thoughts and ideas, remember? May threw her hands in the air. I knew it, she said. I knew working as a team wouldn't work. Fine, you guys just write your own dumb poem, and I'll write mine. After that, she took a pencil and paper, and she hid it under her sweater again. All of us looked at each other and shrugged. Then we all started to write our work and tapped on my chin. It says the first line needs to be the title, I said. So maybe the title could come first. May peeked her eyes out at me. Duh, she said. Joe's covered it up again. Just then, Herb raised his hand. Hey, I know, he said. Since Mr. Scary wrote a pickle poem, why don't we write about an olive? We leaned back in our chair and did a happy thumbs up. No one did the thumbs up back, because what kind of dumb idea was that? An olive, I said. I hate olives, said Joe's. I threw it up an olive before, said Lenny. Herb looked in grit at us. I patted him. Don't be mad, I said. It's just that maybe there's something funner to write about than an olive. That's all. See, said Joe. Maybe like we could write about a soccer playing. Soccer is fun, right? Yes, I said. Plus riding the bus to school is fun too, right, Herb? Me and you always have fun on the bus, don't we? Lenny shook his head. But I don't ride the bus, Junie B, he said. I think we should write about something that we all know about. He thought for a second. Then he clapped his hands together. I know. We should write about all of our shampoo in our hair, keeping it healthy and shiny. All of us do that, right? After that, me and Joe's and Herb just looked at him, because sometimes Lenny is off at the deep end. That's why. Finally, Joe's put his head on his desk. Maybe we are making this too hard, he said. Why can't we just write about something easy? About how we are friends or something? Herb smiled a bit. Yeah, that's a good idea. We could all write about 4 of us, and we could all call it Friends. Joe smiled to see, he said, or amigos maybe. Just then, I bounced up and down real excited, because the perfect title just hit me. That's what. It's all right in clear blue sky. Pallies, I said. Let's call it Pallies, because that's what we are, right? All four of us are bestest Pallies, and Pallies sound like a cute title. You think? I looked at them real hopeful, and then my Patty started to smile. Our poem was off to a great start. Chapter 7. Thank you for reading with me, and I hope you can join me next time. Make sure to press that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell button. Ding! Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye!